Good evening. Thank you all for attending this webinar today. We would like to welcome Nitin Giri. Nitin is completing his BE in Computer Engineering from Vidyalankar Institute of Technology. He was also the Joint General Secretary of Computer Society of India Vidyalankar Chapter. He has been working in mobile app development field for the last 1.5 years and also has been a Flutter and Android developer intern since May. With this, I ask you to give Nitin your full attention. Over to you, Nitin.
Can you hear me? Am I audible, Archita?
Yes, you're.
Okay. So first of all, good evening, everyone. So I'm Nitin Giri from Vidyalankar Institute of Technology, and so today, as you all here for its webinar on Flutter. So without much further ado, let's dive straight into it. So I will share my screen. Okay. So I think it's visible to everyone. All right. So welcome everyone to webinar on Flutter. So let's straight away dive right into it. Now, before when this webinar was announced, everyone was talking about what actually Flutter is. They wanted to know everything about Flutter. So before starting with Flutter, let's get on some basics, right? So what exactly Flutter is and etc. etc. So before that, let's begin with what is mobile app development. Now, this is one of the powerful statements that I consider. It would be little like a record store where software would be downloaded over phone lines. Now, this is a statement which was said 24 years before the first iPhone and 27 years before the first iPad was released by Apple. Now, you have to just imagine 24, 27 years before this thing actually came into existence, Steve Jobs predicted that it was going to happen. And there we are today, where we have multiple app stores, we have Google Play Store, and etc. And we have seen the apps rise from that simple snake game on Nokia 6110 to today, where we have everything right on our fingertips: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, each and everything right there in just a small device. And this is all possible because of the mobile app development. So now moving ahead. So right now I've explained you. Now in the word mobile app development, it clearly says that what it is. It's mobile application development of the application for mobile. But coming to the literal like meaning, so mobile app development is the procedure or process of software creation for handheld and mobile wireless computing devices such as personal digital assistants, tablets, smartphones, etc. So right now I think it's pretty much clear. The statement itself and the word itself is pretty much self-explanatory. So right now, moving ahead right away. So the we have multiple iOS, we have multiple OSs right now. So if you know everything about it, we have basically two important OS right now in the market, that is Android and iOS, and there is constant bickering amongst themselves that which one is good. Is it Android? Is it iOS? Everyone has its own flaws, own something advantages in it. So right now we'll just dive into it. What basically is Android and iOS? So we have iOS and now we have Android. So iOS was made, as I said, the first Apple phone came in 2007. That was 24 years, and before that, 24 years before, Steve Jobs made that statement that I showed in the previous slide. So iOS started in 2007 by Apple. Android was in 2008 by Google and Open Handset Alliance. Now, not many of you know about Open Handset Alliance. So basically, Open Handset Alliance was a group of various organizations like Sony, Nokia coming in for mobile app development and making new mobile phones. So it was Open Handset Alliance with head developer, contributor, and commercial marketer was Google, and then Google completely took over that thing. Now, as I said, that there are a lot of differences between both of them, between iOS, between Apple, or between Android. Sorry, and so today here we'll be talking about just one thing, and I think it's really important in terms of a developer. If you are a developer, if you are beginning to develop apps, so I think one difference stands out, and that difference is that iOS is closed with open source components and Android is actually open source. Now, why this is a big thing, why this is a big deal, so let's dive straight into right now. So the basic difference comes in open source and closed sources, that in open source, so why it is considered, why Google Android is considered as open source, because they release the source code. Now they release a source code for the mobile OS. Now what is source code? Source code is the code which is written in English before it is compiled to ones and zeros, and as you all know, ones and zeros is the machine language. So before it is converted to machine language, Google actually releases that source code in English, so that the developers can dive deeper into the code, and they can understand as they wish. But as it comes to closed source, that is of iOS, they do not allow developers to change anything in the operating system itself. Okay, so let's as I said, this gives developer the option to look deeper into the code and alter things as they wish, and it is not that possible in. So for developing, they give some API, some tools by using which you can actually make an iOS app. So I think one of the biggest, so I'll give you an example of why open source is better than closed source. So for example, if I am a developer and I made an app like a good app, so it got some good uh, downloads and everything, and people loved it, but after a certain point of time, I'm like disinvested in the project anymore. I don't want to continue, I got something better, and I don't want to go deep into it right now, so I leave that project. But my customer base, they want that app to be carried on, they want that app to be updated. So uh, as the product ages, there's a problem. But now the community, that is the Android community, can take over and continue working on it along the usable life of the product to be extended well beyond what the original developer, that is me, intended to. So the community can take up that project and they can keep updating it, they can keep sending updates and keeping it well up to date. Now this is one of the advantages, and the advantage that comes in, this is one of the advantage that actually sold me to move into Android. Now this is one reason why. I have two reasons. First of all, so this is the first reason why I thought that to go straight away into Android, because there is such a large community today. So if you have any issues, like if you are in Android development, and you face any issues, like even a single bit, you have to just Google that error, copy it, paste it, and that's for sure that error was encountered by someone before you. It is going to happen, and that is one of the biggest advantages of having a larger community and such great developers in this thing. Now so moving ahead, the other thing, so I think right now, it's first of all, it's I think clear that what is open source and closed source. So right now we have made the base that why Android development and iOS development is different from each other. Now moving ahead, the second reason that I was talking about, which actually sold me to go for Android development, and this was this pie chart, market share. So 74% Android. So about out of 4 devices, there are 3 devices which work on Android. Now come on, I'll be working for that which has like higher people are there, like more number of people are there, I'll go and work there, I'll look for more customers. So that's the reason I decided, okay, everyone has Android, why not just go in Android. Now iOS has 25% and others is 1%. Now I have to talk something about others here. So others share, which will be the Windows OS, which is right now not supported, which Windows has stopped supporting it right now. But there is also a fun fact, there is a Samsung OS. Now you will be like, Samsung uses Android, right? In its phone you have seen that it might be Android. So what is its OS? What does it do? So first of all, the name of the Samsung OS is Tizen, Tizen, and which is not on phones, but it is on the watches, like the Samsung Gear that you see. So that OS is particularly made for the watches, and you can see it clearly. Now So this was one of the, I think, diagrammatic representation of what we have right now in the current scenario of on each of the following OS. So moving ahead now, there was already something known as Android development. In Android, there was something known as Android development. There was a complete structure made on it. You used to use Java. Java is a programming language, and everything was already set there. It has been going on for 10 years. That Android thing is going on, and it was going pretty much good. So why was a need there to suddenly make a new, completely new software, completely new toolkit to enhance and make some apps? So so that's where I think Flutter comes in. So straight away, before we know why Flutter was made, let's talk about what exactly is Flutter. So I think there's some lag. We'll wait for a second. All right. So right now, as you can see on my screen, it is what is Flutter. So beginning with it, basic thing. Flutter is an open source UI software development kit created by Google and is used to develop applications for Android, iOS, Linux, Mac, Windows, Google, Fuchsia, and the web from a single code base. Now, I want you to remember this thing, a single code base. This is one of the most important keyword, and it is going to come ahead, and I'm going to elaborate more on it. Why this? Because as you know, right now I talked about that this Flutter is used for Android development. So why I'm mentioning all of these OSs right now, be it iOS, Linux, Mac, Windows, or Fuchsia, and I'm also going to talk about what Google Fuchsia is, so those who don't know about it. So let's start. As you know, as I talked about that, Android development started by 10 years back. Okay, it was the first time that Android SDK, Android development kit, software development kit was introduced. A stable version of it was introduced. So on December 4, 2018, Flutter finally released. So Flutter actually announced it, and Google actually announced that in 2015 it is going to make something as Flutter. But at that time it was code named as Sky. So it was unveiled, as I said, it was unveiled at 2015 Dart Developer Summit. Now, what is Dart? We'll talk about it later. So on December 4, 2018, Flutter's first stable version was released. Now, moving ahead. So first, now we'll talk about like what are the features of this thing. As we are going to dive into why Flutter was required. First, we'll understand, as we understand right now, that what exactly Flutter is. So beginning with the major components of the Flutter. So the major components of the Flutter include our Dart platform, which uses just-in-time and ahead-of-time compilation. So don't worry, I'm going to come back on it later. What is right now, you just need to understand Dart is a programming language, just like Java, C, C++ that you have heard about. So Dart is a programming language. So uses just-in-time and ahead of compilation. We will talk about it later in the further slides. Okay. Now Flutter engine. So it is written primarily in C++, provides low level rendering support using Google Skia graphics library. So those who don't know about Google Skia's graphics library, it is actually open source graphics library which was acquired by Google in 2005, which is a free software which is used in Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, what is it? This LibreOffice, and even Flutter. Now, fun fact, Skia has a conventional CPU-based path renderer, which is named as Ganesh. So it's a little trivia for you that they have a CPU-based path renderer, which is actually named Ganesh. So basically, right now you just need to know what Skia does is the UI that is built on Flutter can be launched on virtually any platform, which is because of this Flutter engine, which is on Skia graphics library. Now, as I said that we'll talk about later on what is that any platform mean? What does that any platform mean? Because as I said before that I was talking about just Android, and now I'm just talking about Android, and now I'm going like various different platforms. So we'll talk on this later in ahead of slides. Now, foundation library. So this is like, I think, a base for any programming language, let it be Java, Python. You will have some basic classes and functions to make the applications. Now, moving ahead, design specific widgets. don't get too much on it right now. I'll just say that material design is for Android and Cupertino widgets is for iOS. Now, okay, Nitin, you're talking about iOS, Android, everything together, and you bought us for Android development. So please elaborate on it. Okay, so right now I'll just elaborate on it. So it brings me to the other slide of why Flutter, why there's a need of Flutter. And the thing that I was talking about, single code base, the single code base that I was emphasizing on in the previous slide, it is because of this cross-platform development. Now, cut down the hassle of writing different codes for each application. So earlier, during the Android development thing, in those past 10 years, what you have to do, you have to spend some hours writing the Android code for Android OS. Then you have to spend some time writing code for iOS. And then there was the rise of Windows platform. Then you have to write code for even that those who want to even cater their what do you say, cater their customers there as well. So what Flutter gives is, as I showed in the one of the slides of pie chart, that there's 74% Android, 25% iOS, 1% others. Now, with the help of if I'm iOS developer, I will just cater to the 25%. Android developer, what do you say, 74%. But if I know Flutter, I'll be able to cater about 100% of all the customers. Anyone who has that phone, I'll be able to make an app for it by using just a single code base. Now, why I'm emphasizing on single code base, because I will give you an example here. Suppose um, for making a basic level, medium level Android app, it usually takes around 250, around I would say 250 hours, 200 to 250 hours. Then for iOS building app, you need around 300, 350 hours, and which is a long time. It is a wastage of resources, it is wastage of time, money, everything. Now, but just by using one code base, which is really simplified, which we'll talk about later, how is it simplified, which is really easy to understand, and it can work on any platform. Now, with Flutter develop, as I said before, with Flutter developers use one code base with two applications covering both iOS and Android platforms. Now, as I mentioned in the previous slide, there was something as Google Fuchsia. Now, why is the Google Fuchsia? What is this, and why are we so much excited on it, and why is so much important in terms of Flutter? So let's talk on this. So first of all, Google Fuchsia is operating system which is being developed right now by Google. So it has been announced that they are making a new operating system which will be named Fuchsia. Now, why so everyone is so hyped up about it? So one of the things, that there is a rumor which I don't understand. It's not, I think, completely right, that Fuchsia might be able to replace Android overall. Now, why it is an absurd statement in a way, because you have to understand this thing. Android is a big platform right now, as I showed you, 74% of the mobile phones are working on Android, and completely scrapping it and making a new OS will be it is kind of illogical. So I don't agree with that part, with that school of thought saying that it is going to replace Android. But one thing that we need to understand is now that Google has said before that they made Flutter in the earliest stages keeping Fuchsia in mind. So it might happen that in a year or two, we might get a first stable release of Fuchsia. And that's where Flutter comes in. Now, if you know Fuchsia, if you know Flutter, you will also be able to cater the new customer base that will be developed in Fuchsia. So it's one of the advantages. If you know Flutter, you will be automatically well versed with one of the new and might be happening what is the operating system in some time. So taking a bit more on what Fuchsia is, those who have less idea about it. So your Microsoft, Windows operating system. This is made on microkernel Linux microkernel, but Fuchsia will be made on a microkernel which is completely developed by Google, and its name is Zircon. So what makes Fuchsia so unique is the ability to run on any CPU architecture. They claim it will be able to run on smartphones, desktop, even embedded systems, and more. So that's one of the big things that I think everyone is hyped up about Google making its own operating system which might just give competition to Windows, which is right now I think one of the most dominating operating system in normal personal computers. So this was the talk about fuchsia. Now you know something about it. And if you Google fuchsia, like just fuchsia, you will come to know that it's actually a color. It's pink plus purple. So there is a story behind it. How Apple actually um, is there an issue? क्या कैसे चल रहा है अब तक? Yeah, so sorry for inconvenience. There was some, I think, an issue there. Okay, so straight away going back now where we were. So yeah, so I think, okay, I think let's straight away. So from current slide. So yeah, so I think we are done with what actually Fitsia is. So first of all, sorry for the inconvenience. There were some connectivity issues from my side. Sorry. So let's just move ahead from it. Now, the second reason why Flutter was chosen. Now, there was already Java used in Android development. Now, Java is a well-known language. It has a legacy. When you begin coding, you start with Java to know what the basics of coding are. But why was the reason that Google decided to go with Dart and not Java? Now, here's the place where we'll discuss about what Dart is and why Dart was chosen to be the language of Flutter. So again, we are in still why Flutter Dart language. So we'll just understand what first Dart language is. So in Flutter development, the programming language Dart is utilized. Now this Dart was made by Google in 2011. So it was not a well known, and I'm confident that not many of you around might have heard about this language as well. But Dart was like developed back in 2011, around 8-9 years back, and it was not that well known. But after it was included in Flutter, there was sudden rise. It has improved significantly. It has now hyped up. Now, what is Dart? Dart is statically typed and allowed you to write a more structured code, meaning you can create more complex applications and hierarchical structures. So this is, I think, what to say, simple definition that we are talking about. So now, if you know Java, if you have already worked with C hash or Java, it won't take you much to actually dive right into it. Now this is what actually Dart is. Now, sorry. Now moving, why Dart? Okay, so some of the features that separate Dart from other languages are as follows. Now, Dart uses ahead of time compilation. Now, in the previous slide where I was explaining you the structure, this ahead of time and just in time came place. So what exactly is ahead of time? So I'll like correlate you with one of the memes that I think everyone must have seen. That there's a meme that, okay, now my flight is at 9:30 p.m. and Indian parents are ready like 9:30 a.m. Oh, come on, get up and let's go to the airport. Now this is what ahead of time is. So what ahead of time is, now ahead of time compiler works by compiling your code before it is delivered to the runtime environment. Before the runtime environment actually starts running your code, it begins compiling before it. Now this is the example of that Indian parent. Now there was also one more thing of JIT, just in time compilation. Now, as the name suggests, just in time, it is about us. We, I think, millennials, Zoomers, whatever they are called. Like if there is a flight at 9:30, I'll just reach there at this point where the boarding gate is going to close. So what does JIT do is, JIT means only what is needed, when it is needed, and in the amount it is needed. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, what does it help? What does it help in ahead of time and just in time? So as you can see, ahead of time, which gives fast startup. Now, if I use ahead of time, I'll start compiling the code before even it is being run. So as soon as I will click the run button, the app will start working. It won't take much time to compile. That is the advantage of ahead of time. The, I think, definition lies in its name, ahead of time, before the time. Now Dart also uses JIT. Now fun fact, JIT is also used in Java. Like Java uses just-in-time compilation. So why there was a need of using both Aot and JIT? Now I understand that Aot ahead of time, it gives a fast startup. You can run the app it will compile very quickly, and it will get an app really quickly in your, I think, virtual device or whatever device you are using. So why there was a need of just-in-time compilation? So the main reason it is the main reason that hot reload exists. Now, as I'm talking about, I'll talk about it in a minute. It's a really I think it's a magical concept, hot reload. So we will talk about it in the later slides. Now, Dart has a garbage collector. Now everyone, I think all of you might be know about what garbage collector is. You might have studied it in Java. So Dart has a garbage collector built in the language, which enables Flutter to achieve smooth animations, transitions that run at 60 FPS. And I'll tell you, the transitions, they are so smooth, they are butter smooth. Okay, and I would say that you have to do it to believe it. It's such a thing. So I think we know what garbage collector helps us do is it will be instantaneous and de-instantize the make clutter free. Its basic job is to remove all those things that is not required at all. Now another thing is Dart allows Flutter to avoid the need of separate declarative layout language like XML in Android. So those who have no idea about Android, in Android there is a complete XML files of each and every screen that you have, in which it will contain all the elements that are present on your screen, and what are its specifications all, which is not at all required in Dart, which really simplifies the code in a bit. So as I said in the previous slide, that if you know Java, if you know C hash, I think it won't take you much time to get familiarized with Dart. It's really easy language, and these are some of the, I think, features about that really makes what Dart so much powerful than other languages. So as you know, like Python was made as a combination of various languages. They came together and they took best from each of the language, and then they made Python. And the same goes around with Dart. They took best from each and every language, and then they made one of the most powerful languages right now, and it is being used in Flutter. So these were the reasons why Google actually decided to go with Dart and not with Java, because as I said, Java uses just JIT compilation, and here you have ahead of time compilation, which really manages time really well. So as I said in the previous slide, it was about hot reload. Now what actually is hot reload? Here we are going to establish it. Now this is one of the best features of Flutter. When you come from Android, and this works like a magic for you, honestly. Just a click and there you go, everything gets ready for you to do. And don't worry, we will see one example and you'll understand why I'm so much hyped about it. I'm in love with this feature of Flutter. So developers can see all the changes they have made to the code right away in the app. It takes just a second to see changes, so teams can quickly add new features, fix bugs, and experiments. Now this is the place where just in time comes in. So it allows the developer to only send the changes. Like if I run the code once and I want to, okay, I don't like this blue color, I want to write I have to convert it to red color. So you have to just do it one, but in 1 second you will see the changes. It's so powerful in that way. Now you don't have, because when you run a code, it usually takes around 1 to 2 minutes depending upon the size of the app. If it's a big app, it might take more when you first initialize, when you first run the app. So what this Hotelo does, it really um, decreases the time to very less thing, and in just 1 2 seconds you will see the changes. What Hotelo does, it does change, it only sends the incremental changes of the source code to the running Dart virtual machine, and rather than running the whole code. So only the changes, like if I've made a change that, okay, I will change it to red, only that change will be sent to the virtual machine and nothing else. So you don't have to run the entire code again, and just that one line that I have changed, that will be run and you will see the change. Now this is something great. This enables to make changes most instantly, also retaining this I think retaining the state of the app. I think I'll show you an example on it, then you might be able to believe in it. So hot reload enables better collaboration between developers and designers when they want to improve how the app looks and check effects immediately. Flutter hot reload feature helps you quickly and easily experiment, build UIs, add features, and fix bugs. So yeah, this is, I think, one of the biggest example, one of the biggest feature of Flutter, and why every developer loves it. Now I'm talking about some more features in brief. Not going too much deep in them. So first of all comes a customizable kit of widgets. Now in Flutter, widgets are the basic blocks. So everything that you need is to be made in those widgets. So as you say, widgets are the basic blocks used to build a user interface of a Flutter application, basically UI. So its layering makes it easy to create applications of any complexity. You can use ready-made widgets from Material UI. Now, remember when I was talking about the features of the main components of Flutter. So there was a last point in which it said about material design, and this material UI is for Android, or implement specific components based on basic widgets. With Flutter, it is possible to flexibly work with animation and gesture processing, and which is with the help of that Skia library that I was talking about, that garbage collector I was talking about. Because of that, it's really smooth animations. It works at 60 FPS, and I think gamers will understand how good 60 FPS actually is. Thus, we can combine rapid work with high-level widgets and still have the ability to add, redefine, and redefine deep layers. So, moving ahead, another advantage is add to app. Now, if I have a big app on Android and I don't want to convert it to Flutter, it will take again another hours to actually convert it. So what feature that Flutter gives is Flutter can also be integrated to your existing Android apps as a library or a module. Now those so module is basically a small part in the entire structure. So when you log in into Instagram, so there is a complete login module which is asking about your username, password, if you have forgotten your password, everything. So it is that one small thing. It is not the entire app, but a small part in the entire app. So this module can be imported to your Android app. So now this is the advantage. You can create that module on Flutter, and then that module can be integrated with your pre-existing Android app. So now moving ahead, another advantage is Firebase. Now this is one of the lovely thing that can give you. Flutter gives extensive support to Firebase now. So mobile app developers can launch their mobile applications in quick time frame. So there are so those who don't know about Firebase, like what exactly Firebase is. So with the help of Firebase, you can do cloud storage or authentication, which is really complementing when you are making a Flutter app. So the quick server configuration with Firebase can actually save you a great time, as you don't require to build a complete backend. So you can use this Firebase as a backend of the app that you are making, and it is a great support which is provided by Flutter, and you can integrate Firebase, and also it's easy to club them. So I would say it's a really outstanding feature right there. You can use cloud storage, authentication. Your entire backend can be Firebase, and Flutter enables you to use that Firebase. So the next point is CI and CD support. So CI and CD support is basically continuous integration and continuous delivery. Okay, so the process of building and publishing native Android apps is a bit complex because they don't have uh, too much of CI and CD support. But with Flutter, it comes handy. They have really strong CI and CD support, which really helps you to make changes that you want to make in Android, and that you uh, make some changes in the app that you have published on the Google Play Store. So because of this dedicated support, it makes it kind of really easy to make those changes. So I think these were the reasons why I think Flutter is really crucial and is one of the uh, best right now in Android development. So okay, it's happening now. Everybody stay calm. What is happening? So time for some examples. Now I was talking a lot about hot reload and how the smooth those what do you say, those animations transitions are. Now, as I said, that you won't uh, believe it until I show you it. So right now I will just show you that. Uh, okay, let's do it. Okay. So this is what basically Android Studio. So I use Android Studio because it's used for both Android and Flutter development. You can even use IntelliJ and some more IDEs if you love it. But I prefer Android Studio because I have already downloaded it. So here we have start a new Flutter project. So we'll start a new Flutter project. So as I showed before, that Flutter can be used as a package, as a module. And here I want to make an app. Okay, so I want an app. So you can see select an app when building for end users, when a plugin when exposing an Android or iOS API for developers, package when creating a pure Dart component like a new widget, and module creating a Flutter component to add to an Android or iOS app. So we'll just put next. Um, okay, let's keep it demo. Okay, I'll just have my, I say, yep, this is this. I'll set the path. Okay, sorry, my mistake. So yeah, so a description, if you want to add something, you can, a new Flutter application, and we'll just go finish. And then we'll start creating new Flutter project. Okay, so here is the window. So yeah, now it is running. It is loading all the libraries right now. I think you will be able to see. Yeah, so right now it has load everything. Now I'll just show you. I think I'll not dive deep into it, like what are the things here, but I'll just say one thing, that although like main as you all know, there's every time something void main, like the runtime environment refers to run an app. So here we have void main, which will run app, my app. Now my app is a class which will extend stateless widget. Now yes, I have talked about widget, but right now I'll not go around what are the different types of widget because it's kind of way deep. So right now we'll just see the surface, not move too much deep into it. Now I've made a widget. As I said, that widget was a component which held all the UI aspects of an app. So widget build context, no need to look into it. So now title will be Flutter Demo. So before doing this, I will just do one thing. I will run it. Okay, I'm not able to see any. Okay, just a second. Just a second. Okay, there is some issue. Okay, one second. I'll just refresh them. Okay. Yeah. So wait a minute. Tools, AVD manager. Okay, I have the AVD manager. So So this is okay. Continue to locate ADB. There's some issue. New project. So I think there's some issue right now. So I will just take you to another app, which is a really basic app, same app, but with different name. Yeah, but here we have, there was some issue. It will take some time. So right now it is loading. All right, so I think now everyone is able to see this. So I'll just run this app once so that you'll be able to see what it is basically. Now just keep a look on how much time it is actually taking to run this app. Now this is my phone. Now this is a virtual device. Right now, for the sake of showing you what exactly it is, what the virtual device is, like to show you how the app works. I'm using it on virtual device, but I use my own because I have my Android phone. So I use my Android phone for running the apps. Now, yes, you can see the running Gradle task. This is assembling. It is, you can see in the bottom there is a loading thing going on. So just keep a look on it. You'll just understand at how painful it is for a developer, because it takes 1-2 minutes. You might lose track of what you are about to do, what you were thinking, and it's something big. Now, okay, we have built. Now it's installing this app in this phone. Okay, so I think till the point it actually starts, I think we can have some questions if anyone has any doubt or so till now. Like right now we are going to practical part, so I have completed my theory part. So if anyone has any doubt about it, so can talk about it. So I don't think that anyone. Okay, so now we have initialized. We have started the app. Now this is the thing. So I'll just do this and do this. Okay. Now, okay. Now, no. Okay, this now goes this way. Now you can see the code. Okay, so here we have, right. So I was talking about, this is a Flutter Demo will be the title, and this theme data. Now I've kept primary swatch colors dot red. Then it will move down. I've kept the title as Flutter webinar. Okay. Then there's a counter which I've initialized as 0, which will keep on increasing if I click this favorite button here. Now this button is actually given by here. This is shows here that icons dot favorite. Now if I press this button, it will show. You can see that you have tapped the button these many times. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It will keep on increasing. Now I'm going to show you how hot reload works here. So first change, I don't like red color. Now what to do? So I will change it to, okay, I'll do what do you say, green color, or anything. I will do blue color, better. So I'll do this blue. I don't want to keep Flutter webinar. I want to keep webinar on Flutter. Wait a second. The other thing that I want to change, I don't want to now, whenever I tap the button, it should not increment, but it should decrement. So I'll do minus minus, and icons dot favorite. I don't want favorite icon. I want something like add. So icons dot add. Now just see what changes I have made. We'll just look onto it once. So yeah, colors dot blue. Now I'll change the color to blue. The title that is here, Flutter webinar, will change from webinar to webinar on Flutter. The counter will decrement, and the icon will change to add one. Now just keep one thing, remember one thing, that what we have here, you have tapped the button 5 times. Now remember that this file is still there. Okay, so this is hot reload part. Now I press this button, you can see Flutter hot reload, and as soon as I click this button, voila, changes. You can see in the my console that is showing reloaded one of 513 libraries. So it has 513 libraries on already in this, and I just changed one thing, and it just sent that thing to that one change to the JIT, that just-in-time compiler, and it compiles that thing, and there you go, you have it. Now you will also see now the changes. Now blue it is, the icon is now of add, it is webinar on Flutter, but you will see one change, that this counter remains the same. Now there is no change in counter. That's the advantage. It it keeps the state, it keeps the current state of the app, and it will only change the UI changes that are being made at one line change that we make, and it is only that change sent to the JIT compiler, which uh, which builds the changes. Now, as we said that I've converted that counter plus 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 to counter minus minus. So let's see now. Let's see if the counter gets decremented. You can see counter is getting to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it can go negative as it is an int. So this was, I think, one of the basic way to show you what Flutter is. So when you run the Flutter app, you'll get the same thing that you're seeing right now, with the same layout and everything, with the same color. And I would say just run it once and play with it. It's your playground right now. So coming back to playground thing, I have one of the tricks. Now I was talking about that it is a UI development toolkit, and Flutter is kind of like drag and drop thing. Now you cannot drag and drop something here. So for that, I have one of the um, trick or one of the site for you where you can make some really good using drag and drop. You can make some really good AI. So this is it, Flutterstudio.app. Uh, so if anyone can just from the team can write it in the chat box so that people can go through it once, so they have this thing. So this is Flutterstudio.app. Now you have to just drag and drop thing here. Now I go to material, and now I want a floating action button, so I'll just put it here. I have my button here. Now I don't want to have it as add. I want to have something which says setting. Okay, setting. It changes it. I want to increase the size of this thing. There you go. You can change the size of the string. I want to change the color. You can change the color. Okay, now I don't want this. I want us to add some text. So I'll just put in some text here. I'll increase in size so that you all can see it. So yeah, QWERTY. Now I don't want this QWERTY right here. I want to put hello. So these are the things that you can do in it. Now you're drag and dropping all the facilities in it. So what to do? It's here. Now what we'll do, as you drag and drop this thing, it gets converted into the code. Now this is the code. Now you just have to copy this and paste it in the main, and your app will have the same UI that you have made right now. So this is like a playground here. You can play with UI. You want to have some scrolling effects, there you go. You want to have some more effects, you have it. Styling, text, layout. There are some materials like I want to have an icon button, so I can have an icon button. I want to have a pop menu button, so I have it. Okay, I want to have some bottom navigation. I have bottom navigation right there. So these are, I think this is one of the best thing that we are talking about, the web development. Web development there is right now, Wix.com. You have to just drag and drop some elements, and you have your website ready. Now this Flutter gives you this, I think, one of the biggest advantage. You don't have to keep on writing code. Now you can leave that worry behind of writing the code. You can play here. Okay, now this looks good. Now no, I don't want what do you say, blue color. I want red color. I'll change it to red color. It's my decision. I can do it. So that's what I'm talking about. So these are the small things that will really help you to build a great app. So, and other thing is Dartpad. Now, as many were talking about, not all of you know about Dart. Now this is Dartpad. Okay, Dartpad.dev. Now this is a site which is made by Google, where you can practice your Dart and everything. So again, this is again a playground. I'll just run this. You can see it's really simple. For it uses the same thing for print hello. This is the what do you say, variable part here, and then you can print hello 1, hello 2, hello 3, and subsequently like that. So these are two things, like if you want to work on UI, if you want to make some beautiful UIs for your app, so you can use this Flutterstudio.app. And if you want to practice your Dart, if you want to work there, then you can even use this dartpad.com, dartpad.dev, sorry. So yeah, these are some of the things that I think that is going to really help you. So in this webinar, we have talked about that what actually Flutter is, why there was a need of completely new software to be made when we have some pre-existing and really efficient and great software already present, and then why was the need for this new thing. So believe me, it came around in 2018, 2017, and it is rising. If you go on GitHub, if you check just GitHub, then you will see that Flutter has the highest growth in after it was launched. I think it was something around 500% growth in its use, in its stars. It has around 25K plus stars on GitHub. So these are small things that are showing that people are trying to go people are trying to go towards those that cross-platform development that we are talking about. But there are some disadvantages in Flutter. Like one of the disadvantages Flutter is it's new, you know. So as you know, there is Android. It has already so much libraries, so much modules, packages, everything written for it there and there, and it has been developed for around 10 years right now. So there are multiple libraries there. In Flutter, the libraries are good. They're really good. It will really enhance your app, but they're still less as compared to what you talk about Android. The second thing that comes around, that if you make an app on Flutter, it's really heavy. It's really heavy. So if I make an app on Android, it will have less size, but on Flutter it will have more size, because as I showed you, there are some pre-installed libraries already there, like you have in Python, right? There are some libraries already present there. So in this, you have some pre-installed libraries. So the developer has to make sure that he compresses the size of the photos of everything that is possible, so that he can bring down the app size. So I think these are the few disadvantages to mention. But overall, Flutter is proving to be a fantastic technology, fantastic software, which is really going to increase, which is its usage is going to increase in further years. So I would just so if anyone has any doubts, can put it through. And if you want to know which courses to go through to I think to learn this Flutter, you can have any course on Udemy. And if you don't want to pay money, Torrent Zindabad, you have Torrent as well. So if you have any issues, if you want to collaborate anything, if you want some help, so you can contact me. My email ID is girinitin36@gmail.com. And yeah, so that's it from my side. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone attending this webinar. um, so I think I would take this opportunity to actually thank my 2019 2020 team, the last team. Thank you so much, guys. It has been a great year with you all, and we had our moments, and we had a really successful year. So thank you for all the memories, and thank you for all the hard work that you have put in the entire last year to make CSI successful. And really, really thank you from my side. And all the best to the new team that is going to take over 2020 2021 team, 2021 team. Yeah. So all the best to you all. You have had two great and good events. So you keep up this momentum. And yeah, thank you so much, and all the best. And yeah, keep learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitin, for such a wonderful webinar. A gentle reminder, you all have to fill the feedback form to get the certificate, and the link will be active only for an hour. I would like to thank you all once again. We'll conclude this event, but just make sure you fill the feedback form within an hour. It's only active for an hour. Thank you.